Dear brothers and sisters around the world, today I want to share with you letters of St. Therese of the Child Jesus to her spiritual brothers, lessons in confidence and wisdom. Consumed with zeal for the salvation of souls, St. Therese left us valuable teachings in her letters, happily preserved for posterity by Sister Fernanda. Well, the feast of St. Therese is October the 1st. In 2000, October the 1st, 2000, Pope JP2 canonized 120 martyr saints of China, spanning from 1600 to 1930s. And that day happens to be the founding of the Communist Republic of China, the Communist People's Republic of China. And that really irked and triggered the regime, and Beijing coerced all the bishops in China to rush to Beijing and sign the paper to condemn Vatican. Now you see the spiritual connection, the deep connection between St. Therese, China, Martyr Saints of China. And I read from somewhere, you can help me confirm this, Therese has a heart for China. She wants to mission to China. So let's read this. Like a modest lamp burning day and night before the blessed sacrament, whether in a humble countryside chapel or in a magnificent cathedral, the heart of St. Therese of the Child Jesus, simple but brimming with fervor, burned at every moment with holy longings before the divine guest of her heart. One of these desires was to be a missionary and to preach the gospel throughout the world, even to the farthest islands, and her charity was so ardent that it seemed to impel her, if possible, to propagate the name of Christ from the creation of the world until the end of the ages. Now, since the vocation of this fiery soul was to live in the seclusion of Carmel, where her heroism would shine only in the eyes of the angels and blessed in heaven, the good God, who cannot inspire unrealizable desires, reserved for her a palpable and meaningful participation in this enterprise. Two brothers sent by God. One day, while working in the laundry, the Carmelite saint was called aside by Mother Agnes of Jesus, who read her a letter that had just arrived. It was from a young seminarian who, inspired, he said, by St. Teresa, was asking for a sister who would devote herself especially to the salvation of his soul and aid him through her prayers and sacrifices when he was a missionary, so that he could save many souls. In return, he promised to always remember her in the celebration of the Holy Sacrifice as soon as he was ordained. After this reading, what joy! Mother Agnes revealed to Sister St. Therese that she was the one chosen to help the future missionary. Although feeling unworthy of this task, she accepted it promptly, expressing her satisfaction. Mother, it would be impossible for me to express my happiness. My desire, answered in this unexpected way, gave birth to a joy which I can describe only as that of a child. Not for years had I experienced this kind of happiness. I felt my soul was renewed. It was as if someone had struck for the first time musical streams left forgotten until then. From then on, St. Therese contributed to the fidelity of Maurice Bellier. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the French. Let me just say Bell, okay. The seminarian and aspiring missionary who, on the eve of her death, embarked for Algeria. Then a few months later, Mother Marie of Gonzaga made her a second proposal to also take charge of the spiritual and apostolic interests of another seminarian and a future missionary named Adolphe Roland. Overjoyed, St. Therese gained a new brother. A union sealed years before. Let me see how. Okay, maybe I can read the rest in video too. But, okay, here, let me continue. A union sealed years before. The union between Therese and Roland, however, already had a very beautiful antecedent. On September 8th, 1890, Therese had definitely left this world and by her religious profession had become the spouse of the King of Heaven. On that day, with all confidence, she particularly asked her divine spouse for an apostolic soul, because not being able to become a priest, she wanted a priest who shared her thirst for souls to receive special graces in her place. Years later, the then Father Roland told the Carmelite saint that precisely on the date of her profession, he had had doubts about his vocation and entry into the major seminary. While he was praying in the chapel of Our Lady of Deliverance, he suddenly and definitely set himself on the path to the priesthood. In this way, a corner of the mysterious veil that hides the secrets of eternity was then lifted. Therese found the one for whom she had ardently prayed and could, united to him in a concrete way, set out to conquer souls. As she herself would later affirm in this union, Father Roland played a biblical role of Joshua, who led a fight on the battlefield, while she rejoiced in being his little Moses, whose arms and heart, sustained by Christ, were continually turned towards heaven in order to obtain victory. In fact, as soon as she received the news that Father Roland, newly ordained, was destined to evangelize the province of Sichuan in China. Come on, let me chime in here. That's my hometown, Sichuan province. Okay? So I think Father Roland belongs to the Foreign Mission of Paris, MEP. So I am a spiritual descendant, spiritual son of the sacrifice of Father Roland, and of course of MEP. Let me continue. The Carmelite affixed a map of the Chinese territory to the wall of the room where she worked, so that she would never forget her part in this work. Wow, let me see this. Now I feel so. This connects Therese and me. St. Therese right now in the heaven is watching me, is watching my hometown, is watching China. Hello, St. Therese. Okay. In her letters, there's friendship with these two priests, which was entirely, well, let me Okay, let me finish this. Ah, well, still, see you in next video. It's too long. We need to slow down and meditate on these words.